Coming up, one man is dead and another behind bars after a shooting between neighbors.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office arrested a Somerset man after he allegedly shot his neighbor. WYMT's McKinley Calandrino spoke to officials about what they know so far.
Deputies with the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office responded to a gunshot victim call early Wednesday morning. The caller claimed her husband, Adam Roark, had been shot by their neighbor. Once they arrived at the home at 209 Dogwood Lane in Somerset, deputies say they found Roark with multiple gunshot wounds.
There was life-saving measures that were that the responding deputies and EMS attempted to do. Roark was pronounced dead at the scene. Patrol units found the suspect, James Gleason, outside of his home. Deputies then arrested Gleason and was taken to the Pulaski County Detention Center for further questioning. According to the arrest citation, Gleason claimed that Roark and his wife had been threatening him with direct energy weapons for years, and claimed Adam was actively threatening him that night. The citation goes on to explain Adam was walking up the road when Gleason, quote, took matters into his own hands, end quote, and shot him approximately 7 times, or until the pistol was empty, but stating there was not an altercation prior to the incident. The citation says Gleason claimed there was a firearm under Roark's arm during the incident, but officials say no firearm was found on or around the victim. A detective working on the case said they believe there were some witnesses, however, they cannot go into detail about who they were or what they said.
So at this time, we believe that this was the only suspect involved. There's no reason for anybody to be panicked about something else happening. We believe this is an isolated incident and the subject has been arrested.
A couple of neighbors I spoke to said they did not hear anything at the time of the incident. In Pulaski County, McKinley Calandrino, WYMT Mountain News.
Gleason was charged with murder and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. He's being held on a $1 million bond. 2 men appeared in Pike Circuit Court today in connection to a 2019 murder in the South Williamson community. Charles Ray Blevins and Demetra Smith are each charged with murder after investigators say they were involved in killing 44-year-old Adrian Smith near the South Williamson flood wall on July 6, 2019. They appeared before Judge Eddie Coleman today for a pretrial conference during which prosecutors announced plans to bring the men and the victim's family to the table to discuss how to best move forward.
It is too early to make a recommendation. I really want to talk to that mom, the victim's mom, get her input. So as of right now, I just can't speculate as to what the recommendation will be. The gentleman may want to go to trial, so we just have to see where the chips fall.
That mediation is expected to take place in December before the 2 men appear back in court in January. We are just learning of a deadly crash this afternoon in Pulaski County. It happened on Kentucky 80 and the 1003 intersection in Shopville. State police say 3 vehicles were involved. 82-year-old Walter McGuire of Somerset was killed. No other injuries were reported. Kentucky law banning convicted felons from carrying firearms will remain in effect. The State Court of Appeals recently reversed a lower court's ruling. This all started when Jacory Lamont Frazier, a convicted felon, looked to dismiss his firearms charge. He argued the Kentucky law violated his Second Amendment right. The court said the legislature has the right to disarm those deemed dangerous. The appellate court has ordered Frazier's charges be reinstated.
Hey everybody, a beautiful Wednesday evening that is wrapping up across the mountains. We had lots of sunshine this afternoon, slow starter of the day, and those fall temperatures are back in town. Here's a view, Mount Vernon along Interstate 75, Rockcastle County. All is well in the world of weather there. View from the campus of Morehead State University, nothing going on. Forecast as we head into the overnight. We got temperatures down into the low 40s. Out the door tomorrow morning, could be a touch of some fog for that trip into work and school. First Alert Radar Network. We know it's been a dry day, especially this afternoon and evening, and we continue with a dry sky with high pressure that is across the Great Lakes. That chilly northeast wind, it's out there. It's calmed down a little bit tonight. It's going to be back with us tomorrow, 25 miles an hour. That is pushing this boundary all the way into the deep south. That's the one that brought the heavy rains to parts of our region on Tuesday. This high pressure going to stick around for a while. We'll track it in the 7-day when I come back.
Chris, thank you. A heavily used route will be closed off to drivers until further notice. As we first reported last night, an inspection of a bridge in Johnson County resulted in it being shut down. Andrew Colgrove talked with drivers affected today.
Drivers on their regular routine were forced to turn around when met with this barricade.
I'm very disappointed.
The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet announced Tuesday this bridge on Route 321 near the Route 1107 intersection close to Paintsville would be closing. They say a recent inspection revealed concerns with its substructure, and the call was made to close the bridge to all traffic out of an abundance of caution.
Hoping that the road opens sooner than later.
Close to 5,000 drivers a day, including Beulah Webb from Martin County, use the bridge. They're now forced to use alternate routes.
I'm on my way to Paintsville to pick up my groceries, and you have a time limit to pick them up. So at this point, I'm trying to figure out how to find a shortcut to get there.
Traffic's gotten a lot worse.
Robin Sloan lives close to the bridge.
There's quite a few people who travel this road back and forth to work, back and forth to Floyd County.
The statement from the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet says they appreciate the public's patience as engineers assess the situation and determine necessary repairs to the bridge. But at this point, there is no word on how long it might be before this reopens. Andrew Colgrove, WSAZ, Johnson County.
The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet says they will provide updates as more information becomes available. The Breathitt County Superintendent says school administrators have gotten proper training after one school hosted a religious assembly. On September 16th, Breathitt Elementary School in Jackson hosted the assembly. The Christian boy band Three Heath Brothers performed for all students. The band also passed out devotional pamphlets. Parents reportedly received no notice about the assembly, and at least one complained. The Freedom from Religion Foundation sent a letter to the school saying it had violated the children's constitutional rights and parents' First Amendment rights. The school took action quickly, getting administrators trained. Federal law enforcement officials announced the arrest of a man in connection with a wildfire that ripped through large parts of Los Angeles County, California at the start of this year. 29-year-old Jonathan Renderknecht of Florida is accused of lighting a fire that was initially extinguished by fire crews but continued to smolder underground before reigniting. The fire killed at least a dozen people and leveled thousands of homes and buildings. Former FBI Director James Comey appeared in federal court today to fight criminal charges brought by the Trump administration. Comey, who was ousted during the first Trump administration, has often clashed with the president, prompting critics to call it political retribution. Comey's attorney entered a not guilty plea on his behalf. He is charged with obstruction of a congressional proceeding and making false statements related to 5-year-old Senate testimony during which he denied authorizing leaks to the media. Close to 2 years into the war in Gaza, President Trump says Hamas and Israel have agreed to the first phase of a plan to end the fighting and free hostages held in the war-torn Palestinian territory. CBS's Jared Hill has the latest on this developing story tonight.
President Trump announced on Wednesday night that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of a peace plan that his administration has been working to broker. On Truth Social, the president wrote in part that the agreement means that all of the hostages will be released very soon and Israel will withdraw its troops to an agreed upon line as the first steps toward a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. Earlier Wednesday, Trump indicated a deal was fast approaching.
I was just given a note by the Secretary of State saying that we're very close to a deal in the Middle East, and they're going to need me pretty quickly.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu released a statement thanking Trump and saying in part, quote, "A big day for Israel. Tomorrow I will convene the government to approve the agreement and bring all our dear hostages home." Hamas said in a statement that the deal would ensure the withdrawal of Israeli troops as well as allow for the entry of aid and exchange of hostages and prisoners. The war began with Hamas's October 7, 2023 attack on Israel. They killed about 1,200 people and 251 were taken hostage. The Hamas-run health ministry says more than 67,000 Palestinians have been killed during Israel's offensive in Gaza. Jared Hill, CBS News.
It was not immediately clear whether negotiators made progress on whether Hamas will demilitarize, as President Trump has demanded, and eventual governance of Gaza. With no end to the government shutdown in sight, federal workers pleaded with lawmakers today to sit down together and work out their differences. Lawmakers remain deadlocked over health care. Democrats want an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies, but Republicans insist the shutdown should end first. The Senate has now tried and failed 6 times to pass dueling measures to fund the government. The Treasury Department says it is working on a $1 coin that would feature President Trump. This would mark the 250th anniversary of U.S. independence next year. This is the preliminary design, but it has not been finalized yet. While federal law prohibits the Treasury from issuing actual currency with the image of a current or former president who is still alive, the Treasury is authorized to mark the nation's 250th anniversary with $1 commemorative coins under a law passed in 2021.